it's from spirit for someone here. And yes, YouTube's gonna try to suppress this, copyright or whatever, but that's their way of like suppressing the video so people don't see it, don't hear the message, don't know what's going on. Anyways, you know the drill. Please like, comment, share, and do what you gotta do, okay? I'm just a messenger, and please take what resonates, leave what doesn't. This one feels like a more like a global reminder advice for the collective. Because right now it's like the moment of like truth. Oh, the road is blocked that I usually take. Huh. Take the delays. Take the, oh no, it's not. Oh, someone, oh my God. Hopefully they're okay. Yeah, the world is a little bit cuckoo puffs, but this is a reminder advice, okay? I don't want to forget. A lot of you have to be insane in the membrane, I guess. At this point, if you're not, then I don't know where to tell you. You know they're testing us, right? They're trying. This is normal. This is what they've normalized before. They just wanted to see if we will continue or normal business as usual, normal ways, while they're like showing you that this what's been happening in the background. Honestly, without accountability, without some type of consequence for these, there needs to be. And that guy saying that, oh no, there's no retribution to the people mentioned in this, like, I'm like, like these people are too comfortable, and I don't know, like a lot of you don't remember the French Revolution, the guillotine and stuff like that. Like, it's for real. Like, I don't know what's going on here, but I know it's like, oh, that's just barbaric and violence opinion. I'm not inducing violence, but I just wanted to like remind you, all of you, that my Telegram is full of 2 years of evidence for just violence of any form that you can, just the vile proof and reports and articles, the sources. Okay, and Spirit wants me to remind some of you, this is from my content creators and to tell us, when you have a bunch of people like going into your, like, really you have to use the discernment and not like, because you're gonna have a lot of vampiric energy, like demons sent by the enemy and being used by the enemy because they have the same frequency. They want to like gaslight you into you, but like questioning your own reality. So doubts and fears and confusion. So when they come to you and tell you, oh, where are your sources? Oh, where are you getting this? Oh, blah, 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 blah. Like, they can do the research themselves too. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they don't have to, like, how do I explain this? Like, coño, like, you don't have to give them your energy and time and free labor for them. Like, are they paying you? Are they paying you? Do they pay your bills? Because if they are, okay, like, you need to find a way that you can communicate with them in a conscious and mindful way, because you're also doing your own, you have your life, you have doing your own thing. A lot of you, you're activists, you're busy. A lot of you, Spirit wants you to also be like, don't be afraid of the rabbit hole. Be Alice in Wonderland. It's that fucked up, right? A lot of us, we need to process. Okay, process, no problem. But we have work to do. Keep the movement, keep the action. Do not numb yourself for this. Do not like, advocate for those victims. Not victims, they're not victims, fuck. They're survivors. And Spirit keeps saying that, I'm sorry for but for real, like, I get angry when people are like, oh, no, they're survivors. They're still surviving in a system that completely forgot them, completely wanted them to be erased, that gaslighted, that didn't want their truth to be out there. Can you imagine? Can you fucking imagine? Can you fucking imagine? And then knowing also deep somehow, somewhere, that the system has failed them and it's going to continue failing them. Like, they already have this in their mind that there's not going to be justice, accountability, that this is just like distraction. Is that what you're saying? Right? So this is your confirmation. I'm just a messenger. I'm just literally putting as a mirror. I'm an amplifier, right? And a healer, and I alchemize a lot of shit. So this is me alchemizing as well and turning it into wisdom for you guys. Listen to me. Do not listen to these trolls, bots, whatever the fuck. It's just to drain your energy. It's just to take energy from you to put it somewhere else. So whenever you feel some type of way, trigger or anything like that, or these people are trying to get you rowdy, it's a ritual. Okay? So stop explaining yourself that you need to give sources. You are the source. Your connection with the truth and knowing clarity and knowing, like, listening to that intuition. And a lot of you don't understand what intuition is, which is really interesting. It's part of you. It's who you are. It's like your antenna and connection between this world, the physical, and the spiritual world that also exists in this world.
And probably will be for life.
The thing we have to understand about capitalism is that it breeds billionaires, and billionaires are literally mentally ill, and I truly mean that. I think that we need to start thinking about billionairism as a kind of syndrome. Human beings are naturally social animals. We evolved to work together, to build community. What happens when there is a massive power imbalance, and instead we are told what to do, we start to work against our code. And what happens to those in power is that their selves are defined by their power. Accruing control will become synonymous with self-actualization. And so this desire starts to spill into other facets of their lives. In any way, shape, or form, the billionaire syndrome causes billionaires to want more power, more authority, more ability than others. So when the billionaire gets really greedy, they look to the sacred, that something or someone in society that is untouchable. Why do we view children behind a guise of innocence and purity? Probably because we view society as evil and children are the least touched by it. Children are still in the process of being socialized, being told how to act, how to be, how to mold themselves in a way that pleases the system that we're currently inside. We are fascinated by children because they still possess something that we feel that we've lost, something that we've allowed society to strip from us, authenticity. And so for those whose minds have turned to sludge by billionaire syndrome, to consume and destroy children would be the ultimate feat. They'd be able to transgress a boundary that no one else is able to with ease, for pleasure. They take the very most stigmatized taboo and they break it in every single way possible. This is why they're eating children. This is why being a billionaire is fundamentally evil. Not only are you stealing from the thousands of people whose labor created the wealth that you accrue, you also develop an insatiable desire for power. And those around you only enforce it because they have the syndrome too. You're in a closed echo chamber, a positive feedback loop. You are stripped of your humanity, so you want to take it from everyone and everything around you. This is the inevitable end of capitalism. Power imbalance that is unearned. We don't need this system anymore. We need equity.
They have put it in movies and TV shows, making fun of it or making you guys crazy believing that that could actually happen. Because, I mean, it's in a movie. It's fantasy. It's not like, you know, it's just your mixed to your imagination. Okay. They mock what they cannot have themselves. So the people who are controlling, manipulating and stuff, they don't have access to a lot of you what you have access. They're jealous and envious of all of you. You are more powerful. You are the source power for them. This is why I'm telling you, like, there should be a global strike. There should be a lot of us, like, a lot of employees and banks and places and organizations, they should be closed off because they should be against pedophilia and rape and whatever happened with those children. Like, and nobody works, nobody does nothing until those billionaires are in The Hague, are in prison, there's some accountability needs to happen here.
Well, more and more people are finally learning that America and most of the free world are being run by satanic pedophiles that eat children. But now it's time to realize how deep this rabbit hole goes. Here is an email where Jeffrey Epstein refers to human infant meat as tasting like cream cheese. An email where they discuss a woman performing an abortion in front of Jeffrey Epstein and Woody Allen. By the way, Woody Allen married his daughter and they went to the same high school, him and Jeffrey Epstein. Just discussing how to rig trials, kill judges, evade foreign intelligence agencies, and hide from justice. Where are you? Are you okay? I love the torture video. This is from Benjamin Netanyahu, who was in China at the time it was sent and then met with Barack Obama at the date he says in this email. Jeffrey Epstein also introduced Melania to Donald Trump. Here's Jeffrey Epstein and fucking Bill Gates discussing a pandemic simulation. Also, it just came out that Epstein represents the Rothschilds. He says it like 2 or 3 times in these emails. Oh, here's another one of those emails where he admits to working for the Rothschilds. Oh yeah, Pizzagate got confirmed in this, by the way. Also, Erica Kirk's ex-boyfriend Cabot, why did he have a pizza tattoo on his lip? That's a little weird. In what is one of the most evil sentences I have ever heard, Donald Trump is also accused of measuring children's genitalia with his fingers. Jeffrey Epstein and the ex-prime minister of Israel both mentioning that they definitely don't work for Mossad. Here's Jeffrey Epstein telling Bill Gates to drug his wife after Bill Gates unknowingly gave his wife an STD he got from the sex slaves him and Jeffrey Epstein were participating with. This is kind of a long one, but that bottom highlighted part mentions how Clarence Thomas, a sitting U.S. Court Supreme Justice, raped a child. Peter Thiel and Jeffrey Epstein both discussing Bitcoin, funnily enough. This came out in the last file leak, but Jeffrey Epstein had been controlling Bitcoin for a long time, since at least 2015. There were also a couple of things that weren't in the files that I wanted to make extremely clear. Jeffrey Epstein caused the 2008 economic crisis with his company Liquid Funding. Edward Morse was the head economist of Lehman Brothers at the time. He is a close associate of Ghislaine Maxwell. Ghislaine Maxwell's sister Christine sold the FBI the algorithm they used to sort everybody's information after the Patriot Act. This is what caused Edward Snowden to defect. This was in the files, and I just want to say, this makes me so fucking angry. There is a human child in between those 2 fucking chickens. A human infant. The evil that is hidden in the files. And the problem is every single person in power is implicated in some way or fashion. There are almost no innocence in this equation. There are either people who proactively attack kids or people who sat there and let it happen. And both sides deserve to be dragged into the street and shot!
Now, watch out for all of those people. They're trying to put others under the bus. So, like the stammer guy, like the UK, yeah, this guy is freaking out. Like, this is why he's, like, completely putting all in the metal. I don't know what his name is. See, if the other guy doesn't even want me to say it, because it's fucking vile. You guys, like, they did. You guys, you're seeing the Epstein file, all these Jezebels, ancient, demonic, like, their rituals, their descendants. Sorry, I can't.
Watch this. So, you know we could overthrow the government, like, tomorrow? Like, today? Like, right now? I'm serious. By the way, I'm not trying to promote violence or anything reckless. I'm just keeping it real for this video. If regular people stopped showing up tomorrow, stopped clocking in, stopped buying, stopped complying with bullshit that only benefits the top, everything would freeze. Everything. And I'm not talking about riots or protests. I'm not talking about burning anything down. I'm talking about the truth nobody wants to admit. This system only works because we keep it alive. We, yes, the people. We, humans, yes, worldwide. Every road you drive on, maintained by workers. Every hospital, staffed by people who are underpaid and tired. Every app, warehouse, classroom, grocery store, power grid. That's us. Not politicians, not billionaires. Us. Us. They sit at the top acting untouchable, but they don't grow the food. They don't deliver packages. They don't clean buildings. They don't teach the kids. They don't heal the sick. They manage power. We are the power. Let me say that again. They manage power. We are the power. And you want to know the craziest part? They know it. That's why they keep us divided. Race against race, rich versus poor, citizen against immigrant, straight versus gay, red versus blue. Because if we ever looked up and said, wait a minute, why are we fighting each other while they eat off of our backs? The game would be over. Again, I'm not calling for violence. I'm calling for awareness. Don't twist my words, because y'all love to do that. I'm not calling for violence. I'm calling for awareness. There's a difference. Violence is what happens when people feel unheard. Awareness is what happens when people finally see the leverage they've always had. Real change does not come from chaos. It comes from refusal. Refusing to be lied to, refusing to be distracted, refusing to be divided, refusing to believe we are powerless when the entire structure depends on our participation. History did not change because somebody screamed louder. It changed when the people said enough is enough, no more, and meant it. And you know what's crazy, bro? The system does not need to be attacked for it to collapse. It just needs people to stop holding it up.
I don't think it's too woke to say that influencers that don't tell you how to actively defend yourself in American fascism and imperialism are manufacturing consent for that imperialism and therefore fascists themselves. Yes, if you have a platform of over 500,000, 300,000, even 100,000 followers, you're getting 10 million views a month, and none of those videos are talking about torture facilities in Florida, or how super intelligent AI might destroy humanity, or how the job market is so bad that they won't release the numbers, or how Trump did that in the Epstein files. If you're not talking about these things, or at least using some of the money you make from your unethical brand deals to help impoverished people, you're manufacturing consent for this deadly destructive system. And I don't think that's too woke. I think that's the reality.
Hey everyone, I just wanted to come on here and share some thoughts with you all about what has happened in Minneapolis, but more specifically something I saw that I can't really ignore. It hadn't even been 24 hours since the killing of Alex Preddy by federal agents that we saw none other than New York Times opinion columnist Tom Friedman drop this gem of a piece, drawing parallels in the violence between what is happening in Minneapolis and in Gaza, and it immediately caught my attention. And you know me, I love when people can draw on their experiences overseas to help us make sense of what is happening right here at home. And so I immediately read this piece, and here is the similarity that this award-winning and respected columnist made. He says that Hamas and ICE both wear masks to conceal their identities, and that is something he had seen in Beirut and Gaza. And for a minute, I thought that this piece would actually genuinely explore the parallels between the tactics used by American federal agents and Israeli security forces. You know, since Friedman highlighted the use of masks, I thought that he would highlight how Israeli security forces, who are regularly and routinely accused of human rights abuses, actually wear masks as well. In fact, the security guards who recently were accused of raping Palestinian prisoners showed up in court while concealing their identities. And Friedman made no mention of that. I thought he would highlight, for example, the similarities in how both Israeli security forces and U.S. federal agents are increasingly over-militarized in their equipment and their tactics. For example, here's a report that shows ICE detaining school children, some as young as 5 years old. Israeli human rights organizations have been documenting how Israel regularly detains and mistreats Palestinian children, including 5 and 6 year olds. And this has been going on for years. It's hardly a surprise. In 2025, 32 people died in ICE custody right here in the US. In Israel, more than 94 Palestinians have died in prisons, according to human rights groups, over the past 2 years. US senators are warning that ICE facilities in this country lack adequate medical care, that they are inhumane, and officials in Israel say that Palestinians held in Israeli jails are in conditions unfit for human beings. I can go on and on about the parallels between law enforcement agents in the US and their partners in Israeli security forces. In fact, US law enforcement have been training with Israelis for years. It's very well documented. It's hardly a surprise to anyone. But it's really disheartening to see all of these parallels and similarities omitted by the New York Times. As someone who has lived and reported abroad for years, there are actually many disturbing trends that I have seen overseas that are happening right here at home. And we must speak out against them because we are already seeing those tactics eroding our freedoms, our democracy, and sadly now claiming the lives of people here in America.
There's more updates coming out of Minneapolis in response to the Alex Pretty shooting. So the first thing is that they are moving forward with the impeachment of Kristi Noem. They are actually getting bipartisan support on that. The House has 140 co-sponsors, about 2/3 of caucus towards that movement already. And several Republican senators are coming out saying this needs a full investigation, criticizing Kristi Noem and her mishandling of it, her dishonesty of it, and demanding that witnesses and ICE officers be produced and testify before Congress. Also, Border Patrol Chief Greg Bite-Size Bavino and some agents are said to be leaving on Tuesday. There has not been a number of how many agents are leaving. It does not seem to signal a huge pullback or a relinquishment or an admission of wrong, but there are some agents leaving. It makes me very curious if some of the agents leaving with him are involved in the shooting in order to avoid accountability. This is not an ICE retreat, but it is getting rid of his leadership. He's been a very controversial figure. There was a German newspaper who compared him to a Nazi, so he does not have a good reputation. Keep the pressure on. And I know sometimes it feels like you're standing in front of a tsunami and you're just like, what do I do? How can I help? But everything I do seems so small. We actually have the power. And I think we as Americans have forgotten that, and we're remembering that. We keep the pressure on and we do not let up. We don't let Alex's death be in vain. And I want to say an apology. With all of the news that's coming in, I was reminded by Kasim today in one of his posts that this is the 9th death this year. And it is hard to cover everything because there's so much happening every second. But I want to take a minute to honor people who are not getting as much airtime because the 2 white people who've been killed are getting the most attention. ICE has also killed a black man, Keith Porter, a Cambodian named Paredi La, and 5 Latinos named Heber Sanchez Dominguez, Victor Manuel Diaz, Luis Beltran Yanez Cruz, Luis Gustavo Nunez Quesieras, and Geraldo Lunos Campos. I wanted to take a moment to make sure that their names are not forgotten because this idea of racial disparity of value has been engineered in the United States. We see that most clearly start in the Bacon Rebellion of the 1670s when Nathaniel Bacon was able to rally poor whites, indentured servants, enslaved black people, free black people to rebel against Governor Berkeley of Jamestown for supposed injustices and not fulfilling his duty. And they took over Jamestown. The only reason the rebellion fell apart, they actually burned Jamestown down so that Governor Berkeley couldn't take it back. The only reason it fell apart was because Nathaniel Bacon died of dysentery. But what they did after that, the elites realized, oh my God, if we let them unite, they'll take us over. So what they did was they intentionally legalized value disparity between the poorest white person's life and the now enslaved black people. It was a huge shift in making chattel slavery the dominant force in America and giving the white people a little bit more property. You could now testify in court. You couldn't be whipped on your bare back, and supporting this idea that the poorest white person was still better than any black person so that we would not unite. This is the time to unite.
So for a lot of you, you went through those, like it makes you really, use that energy, like that anger, that rage, because they're trying to, like, their goal is to, like, the ritual is kind of like, oh, we're going to put it out there and we're going to see what, it's kind of like testing how far they can go, like how far the abuse can go, how far we are going to enable this. You still don't understand, and this has worked in their illusion energy. They work for you. You don't work for them. All the money that once, this is why they're scared of socialism. This is why you see it, in communism. This is why. Because once you understand that they're not needed, they're not. Once the equality is built, we all have everything that we need. Free housing. Also, I need to make this clear. The people, billionaires and other people, they're not that scared. Landlords, though. Landlords. Landlords are colonizers, right? So let's keep it for real. Bored by return to dust. Bored by return to dust. Right? So a lot of you, you're bored. Oh, there's plenty of stuff to do if you're bored. We have abolition to do. We have systems to abolish, right? We have to set the clock right. Tick-tock, right? Tick-tock, set the clock justice, right? Yeah. And we need to do that in the community, and we have, they're afraid of this, but we have everything. We have the genocide evidence, we have the pedophilia network, and that's not the only one. They're trying to distract you from the runs that still exist. What are their names? Did you ask that question yet? Yeah, it's not just Epstein. Come on, guys. This is European. Jorge was talking about that. Like, this is European 101. Like, this is them. This has always been. Oh, now but it's fucked up still. Don't get desensitized by this, huh? Talking for someone who was an eyewitness of genocide for 2 years, and all of us who have been saving all the evidence and stuff like that. We amplify it, right? We're constantly exposing the truth. We decide, no, this is not, even if we lose everything, it doesn't matter. This cannot continue, okay? So we're trying to let you know what it's the steps that you need to do, in a way. Going against systems that are very violent. And then us telling you guys, or, you know, advising that you have to, yeah. What do you mean? This is why I integrated in my Telegram 2 years ago, the resistance, how they have defeated these demonic IOF demons, how they have done it. Because the resistance did won. I know that a lot of you, they won in terms of the public, the heart, the real Christ consciousness, the real awakening. What do you mean? It has nothing to do with, and then now it's finances. It's going to affect them in their finances. So this is why I'm telling you guys, learn from the resistance and look at their resistance, and they're still trying to survive. This is insane. This is why I'm like, I don't understand. We should shut down everything and build different systems. Stop being fearful. Like, that's the programming condition that needs to go. Stop being scared of, like, come on.
Anyone have plans this weekend?
Do you? Okay. Now, this energy that comes with joy and happiness and giving you some good jujus, okay, good vibes to you, and giving you the tea you need to know, the spirit wants you to know, to be aware. This is stuff that you already know. It's just I'm confirming it for you because a lot of you need that confirmation. But the other one that he wants to warn you guys, it's about the distortion spirit. It's like a demonic energy that comes in and infiltrates other people, and people, bots in online too, okay? Like weird shit. Because bots and all that stuff, propaganda is part of a marketing energy, right? It's propaganda. It's right. It's trying to distort the truth and devalue it, and dehumanize it and demonize it, right? So a lot of us, we have to constantly voice out this energy. So if anybody asks you for sources or something, what's your source? What's your where did you get that, or blah blah blah? Like a lot of you, when they doing that, I feel like this is for people who do the research, who do the work, and you have these like trolls or like just stupid parasites, right? They're parasites, okay? Yeah, so don't pay attention to that. Like Spirit's like, yeah, just ignore them. They know you have your resources, and if you don't have your link trees, get somewhere where you can get the sources, write it down, put it in your notes, the sources. But a lot of you have the sources. For most of us, like as a writer or article, like it's all in my blogs, it's in my website, which is down for now because other things are going on in the background, but it will be there soon. But if not, it's on my media. I just joined Substack. Go check it out. Like there is ways for them to like validate you and know that you're telling the truth. But again, these are people who don't have intuition, right? It's shatter because they're like, there's something not well here, okay? Or morally and integrity and stuff like that. Like these people are easily easily bought. Yeah, they work for the enemy, and you need to be okay. You need not to be okay with it, but just like be aware of it.
I'm gonna say something about the Epstein files that a lot of y'all are not gonna like. The only reason that the Epstein files has the power to topple the world is because a lot of y'all genuinely believed that the elite would never treat white people the way that white people collectively treated black people during slavery. Slavery wasn't black people being forced to work a job they didn't care about. It was people being forced to work until their muscles would fall off of their bones. Black people would be tortured for just funsies. They'd be medically experimented on with no kind of anesthesia. You know how throughout the South, even today, it seems like every other pastor and peapod is touching on kids? Well, that is a cultural stay from when white people used to own black children. Do y'all honestly think that a master is going to wait until a slave turned 18 in order to assault them? It's better to break them in when they're young. But if it was really that bad, why weren't there more slave rebellions? There were slave rebellions throughout the South, constantly. The only reason why you only know about Nat Turner is so that way everybody can point and be like, oh my gosh, look at him, he's so crazy. He started killing these white people because he thought he had messages from God. Even after slavery ended, whenever a black person would be lynched, a lot of the times the white people who did it would literally sever off some of their body parts and keep them as mementos. Black people would be skinned, and then their skin would be turned into human leather, so that way it could be used for leather goods, like coin purses, or the binding of a book, or a bag. There is not a single thing in those files that has not been done to black people before. The problem isn't that elites are doing those kinds of things. The problem is, bro, I thought us white people, I thought we were in this together. I thought we were a team, man. So keep in mind, as above, so below. The elites told non-elite white people, hey, here's a group of people who we deem as worthless, and y'all can torture them and do whatever the hell you want with them. And they'll have like little to no recourse whatsoever. And white people collectively, we were like, cool. The trade-off is that the elites also got their own group of people that they could do whatever the hell they wanted to with little to no recourse. The problem is that group of people was you and me. It was pretty much anyone who wasn't part of the elite. White people collectively made a deal with the devil. Here's this group of people that you can violate and brutalize to your heart's content, and in exchange, we get your humanity. That's why white people are miserable and constantly in black people's business. That's why for pretty much at least the past 100 years, any kind of cultural artifact that's really stayed and stood the test of time has been from black people, often just with a white face on it. And that's why, by and large, white people were so disturbed whenever Renee Good was murdered, because we've seen that hundreds of times before, but that's supposed to happen to black people, not to us. And a lot of white people are acting so disturbed because now they're killing our neighbors, but you didn't particularly care whenever your neighbors were dying during the Black Lives Matter movement, now did you? But in the past couple of months, now a lot of white people are waking up to a really obvious reality, and that is black history has always been white America's future. For the past couple of months, white people are being forced to wake up to the obvious truth that there is no kind of solidarity or allegiance of whiteness across class lines. It's always been all of us are cattle to them, like that's it. But all of this is why I wasn't surprised at all when in the new batch of files that were just released, there was like an email or something where somebody said that they didn't want any of the children they were planning on doing things with to be black, because duh. Any white person could violate a black person and get away with it. That's just the way the world is. But to do all of the things that we did to black people onto other white people, that's power. Brutalizing black people just doesn't really fuel the ego for them in the way that hurting white people does. These people aren't in some way attracted to their victims. That's never the case with sexual assault. These people get off on the kind of power and rush they feel, the thrill of having violated something of value and then being able to get away with it. It's the same way that a lot of men will sexually harass or batter women doing notably better than them. It fuels their ego, like being able to violate her and get away with it. This has always been going on. We have always known that this has always been going on. The problem is, you didn't think that you would be in this position whenever push came to shove. You thought it was just going to be the black people. And I'm not going to say that anybody's wrong for feeling any type of way with everything that's going on, but can we please stop acting like we're surprised?
Liam Ramos, the boy in the bunny hat, is now sick in a concentration camp. No, don't look away. I want you to listen to me. We have concentration camps in America now. And we've decided that it's okay to send 5-year-olds there. They don't have gas chambers. That's an extermination camp. A concentration camp is when a large number of people are detained without a trial, not for crimes they've committed, but because they belong to a targeted group. Anne Frank didn't die in a gas chamber. Anne Frank died of a preventable disease due to overcrowding, malnutrition, and unhygienic conditions in a concentration camp. And that's how 2 million other Holocaust victims died. The food in these detention centers, in our detention centers, has bugs. Overcrowded cells and cages are packed with people, and there are children there. There are infants there. And they're not there because they're criminals. They haven't even had due process. In fact, according to ICE records, only 5% of the people they've detained have committed a violent crime, but they're being treated like animals because they've been dehumanized.
The Democrats say, please don't call them animals. They're humans. I said, no, they're not humans. They're not humans. They're animals. I'll use the word animal because that's what they are.
There have already been cases of sexual assault, and I can't imagine the horrors that we will soon learn. Because when you dehumanize a group of people, you lose your own humanity. And we are in danger of losing our soul as a country. Do not look away. Call your representatives. National strike this Friday.
So if you've never noticed before, my videos always end on a positive note, and that's very intentional. Because talking about how bad things are without offering any solutions or hope is actually counterproductive. See, the fascists don't mind if you talk about how bad things are. In fact, not only do they not mind it, they encourage it. Why do you think corporate news is non-stop hate and fear? Why do you think so many accounts talking about the horrors we face from genocide to climate collapse never get banned or restricted? It's because fascists love doom. Because doom breeds hopelessness, and hopelessness breeds apathy, and apathy is the perfect hot humid growth conditions for the bacterial yeast infection that is fascism to grow and spread. But do you know what accounts do get banned? Ones that offer solutions. Because if you talk about how bad things are and you offer options to stop it, that makes you a threat to fascism, and they fear people who are out there building community, defense training together, setting up mutual aid, supporting their neighborhoods, organizing disruptive protests, boycotting and rallying political power outside of the acceptable two-party system that they completely control. And that is why you should be doing all of those things. Apathy and hopelessness are useless emotions. They rob you of your agency, and they rob your community of meaningful action and support. And you need to understand that the two-party system does not care about you, and no great leader or superhero is coming to save you, because it's you. You are the hero. You have agency in this story. You can go talk to your neighbors about the problems you both face and work on fixing them together. You can do that right now. Nothing is stopping you. And it is very important you understand that the future lies in community building, and we are only as strong or as weak as our communities are. We can build each other up and we all get stronger together, or we can continue to fall for self-centered individualism and divide and conquer tactics, and the fascists can continue to pick us off in isolation one by one. Which one happens is entirely up to you and your community. Solidarity is everything. Community is everything. And the sooner you learn that, the sooner we can come together to kick the apathy and hopelessness and fascism out of our lives forever. And that is definitely something to think about.
I'm going to say something that's like really hard for you all to understand. The Epstein files are what white supremacy has always looked like. Slave owners have always been pedophiles. Slave owners have always been cannibals. Slave owners have always procured, transported, auctioned off, and sold people who look like me. None of this should shock any of you. Like, I know it's graphic reading it now, but has it never been graphic reading it in history books? This is a continuation of white supremacy. The only difference right now is that we have the acceleration of tech and the illusion of a polite society. That's it. White supremacy has always centered birthing, babies, children, pedophilia, cannibalism, and the exploitation and murder of black and brown people. White supremacy and the patriarchy go together like this, and there is no better pairing than white supremacy and fascism. The sooner you understand the way that those things are linked, and the sooner you start to realize that men who do all these terrible things, we can't believe they walk the earth with us. They do. They are the men in power now. They were the men in power then. And if we don't really start to figure out how to crush white supremacy, there may not be any of us left, but they'll be in power then, in the future. So I don't know. I think there's less of a conversation around that than there should be.
And the last thing I want to say, immigrants built this country, literally. So this is for them, for all children of immigrants. This is also for those who came to this country in search of better opportunity.
Reposting is performative. Reposting doesn't actually do anything. No, it's not. And yes, it does. We are shooting ourselves in the foot with the current use of the term performative. This narrative that if you personally are not on the front lines at protests or posting intricate video essays, then you don't actually care, is deterring people from doing anything at all. You should repost leaders who are speaking from the front lines. You should repost creators who are articulating points better than you might have been able to. There's a creator who made a great video about the power of reposting through the analogy of pink versus purple.
But let's say I open Instagram one day and my homegirl just posted on her story how she thinks purple is a superior color. Instinctively, I might be like, what? And now I open Beyonce's Instagram and she just posted on her story about how she also thinks purple is a superior color. Now I'm like, okay, both of these two people whom I respect, one person who I know personally, another person I'm a fan of, both have the same opinion. I wonder why they think that purple is the superior color. Boom! And that right there, that is what the effect is. That sense of doubt, that sense of questioning is the effect.
You can care and spread awareness about an issue without being a content creator. I think we often forget that for every MLK or Malcolm X, there were thousands of everyday civilians who were not public speakers, but just did what they could. Shared flyers about protests and boycotts and participated in the ones that they were able to. It is not performative to repost important and often life-saving information and spread awareness in that way. Don't get me wrong, it's very easy. It's not hard, but it's also not nothing.
People are finally starting to get it. They are starting to get it. There's a lot of folks who have been like, it's too bad that climate is taking a back seat and all this. No, wrong. Fossil fuels fund fascism. And this is something that I've been trying to drive the point home on for, well, the whole time. And people are starting to get it. Y'all are starting to get it. One of my favorite climate journalists over at Heated just posted this the other day, and I am thrilled. Because the article encapsulates everything that I have been trying to explain to folks. Is that if you want to understand the movement of fascism, pay attention to fossil fuels. The reason why I always go after oil executives is because time and time again, not only are they the problem, they finance all of the other problems. They are one of the largest financial backers of Donald Trump and this current administration. I need you all to understand that climate change destruction is becoming another tool of fascism. I do not think it is a coincidence that the communities that suffer the most from the destruction of fossil fuels, the use of fossil fuels, from the pollution, is marginalized communities, and that's not an accident. Oil companies, coal companies, fossil fuels in general, they benefit from more people being racist financially. Because if you don't care about the communities that they are directly impacting, physically, mentally, financially, all of these things, if you don't care about those communities, then they can exploit those communities to their heart's content. And you get to just benefit from it, I guess. Anywho, now you know.
If I'm not here, guys, I'm in my Telegram, I'm on my G broadcast, I'm on TikTok repost, amplifying. We're constantly doing this and also working in the background. Now the conversations that we having within peace right now, for those who just not focus on amplifying, which is okay, like don't feel some type of way, you're doing what it needs to be done. Revolution has multiple source alleyways, let's just say, and some of them are hidden for the enemy not to know and only you to know. This is why they get mad, because a lot of you get confirmation by other people who are in they're your soul family. A lot of you, me, I'm someone's guide, or multiple people guide. They're in my soul family. They're part of my mission. They're part of building the community that I'm building, bring them back into the tree of souls, of life, right? with consciousness, with good conscience, okay? Because we're all building the new earth, the new system, but we have to let this one die. And it dies with us. It dies within us. Like, that we all have to go through that ego death. Like, I know for a lot of people, they thought like, oh, ego death is just like some people. No. If we want to build equality and justice and bring justice, because it's already here. Because justice, like most of you guys think that justice just happens in the physical. You feel like, oh, nothing is happening. These people, no. There is. It's just we're letting you know before, or it's already happening for these people. We're letting you know that these people are marked for fucking lifetimes. We've been telling you guys, the indigenous people are telling you, black people are telling you, like, these people still think after 500 years that there's no accountability. Their justice is not gonna, because they build a system that benefits themselves. Their own psychopath murders and people that should be, like, that's why yesterday when I have a friend that I visit in the hospital, and she lives close to the detention center, and all I keep prison, right? And and when I go see her and stuff like that, I just feel the other energy of, like, there's people in prison systems right now that should not be in prison, and the people who should be in prison are the one out stealing from us, siphoning from us, like real fucking legion parasitic energy. We don't need them, just like we don't need politicians, just like we don't need landlords. I know this is gonna piss them off. You know you're not needed. This is your biggest fear. Socialism, communism is not just for billionaires, because it will just completely cut them off and show you guys that they're useless. They're useless, especially if they're not using their money to build stability, to end hunger, to end poverty, to end all this stuff that's going on in the world. But they have used their money to create killing machines to kill humans. How is that even logical in any form of, like, morality? Because these people don't have it. They don't have integrity. They don't have empathy. And when someone doesn't have that, there's barbaric, vile. That's what you're seeing. They're showing you the monsters that they are. But that's humanity. That's humanity possessed in demonic energy. That's why I told you guys, racism is a demon, white supremacy, all of that. Okay, let's talk about Sinners, the movie. It's crazy how, like, I love this movie so much, because this is exactly what I wish I could explain to people, what it actually means, this energy, and how it manifests in the spiritual realm that we cannot see, like only so people can see. But in this movie, it shows you not only the solution of what you got to do when you're in the spiritual realm this way and dealing with this, but also what it looks like. Like, a lot of you, it's like, oh, it's like vampires. It's like, yeah, it's like that, eating people, blood and all that. They put it in movies so that you guys think that it's like a fantasy, what you already know, what your soul already knows. You know that this is like real and the spirit, right? For some of us, this has been like constant, like, battling with the gaslighting and people like trying to make you crazy of your own, like, reality. Because for some of us, it is our reality, fighting in spirit, and when we go on meditation, when we were constantly, our minds are constantly, you know, working on things, setting things right, creating the world that we want to see first in our own internal. And how do we decolonize so we don't rebuild or rebrand the same toxic violence and oppression, right? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, now it's affecting the people that thought that the oppressors, right? Some of them, it's like, oh no, they think that it couldn't happen to them, but now it's like they care now because it's affecting their life. No, you should have cared when it was affecting Black and Indigenous and people of color before that. Like, this is why for a lot of us, we don't really believe the whole oh, I regret, and the whole, like, I feel sorry. I'm like, the sorry, your sorry doesn't have foundation. It doesn't have context or basis. Okay, so it's intentional that you're creating the sorry victim mentality that benefits your narcissistic ego demonic shit that you need to work on, right? No, you're Like, this is the energy, and this is what they're always trying to normalize it. But now it's like they're testing a lot of you. Spirit saying they're testing a lot of you, and you have to prove them wrong. Do something that colonizers are not expecting you to do. There's people taking their money from their banks and having their own protests. That's one. That's good. Banks are gonna freak out. That's the system. Starve the beast. Boycotting. That's great. But what other ways you think that you know that it has to be globally? A lot of us, we have to stop everything. Everything. And this goes for people that, yes, you are complicit of genocide. Yes, you're an Epstein file. Yes, you want to redeem yourself? Give up your money. Give it up. Give it all up. Because you know it's not yours, right? Do something good for the planet and people. That's it. It's not that hard, but for them, it's so complicated. They rather bomb and kill people with intense bombs, like 2 kilograms, like what? 2 tenths? Oh, they're testing ground. That is legal? You think that's legal? No, it's not. Not even in the spiritual, in any possible way. Like, no fucking sane person believes that shit. And if you do, you're so programmed and brainwashed. It's so sad that you think that it's okay for people to go through the worst shit in their life, bombing and starvation and genocide, ethnic cleansing, and wiping their entire families, while you can live comfortable in your own comfort energy, instead of us taking responsibility and taking action and cutting a lot of stop enabling this, right? Yeah, this is why they're thinking that your guys are gonna continue enabling. They think that you guys are dumbasses. That's how they see you. They see all of you like, look at the Bill Gates. Look at Bill Gates. That's the one that I've been telling you guys. All of you who've been here before for a long time, you know that I tell you guys that this guy, he's a psychopath, murderer, and a pedophile. I knew this when I was a kid. Like, I said that in my IG broadcast. For those who follow me there, you already know, so you can like skip it if you want, because I'm like repeating myself. But I feel like my community needs to know this. When I was a kid, and yes, trust me, this goes with the context of this. When I was a kid, my mom, I remember the first computer that we got at home, and by the time my stepdad was working like with Microsoft and stuff like that, and he was one of the, and I remember my mom was, I was just like, oh, okay, that's cool. Like, I was like, okay. And then she was like, oh, and I'm like, who built it? Like, who, you know? And she was just like showing me like a picture of him. Like, oh, this is Bill Gates. And I was just like the energy was so foul. I remember, I think it was 9 or 10, I think. And the energy was vile, like just vile. Like I felt pukey and my hurt. That's how I knew that this guy was a pedophile. And a lot of us who empath and stuff like that, this is why pedos and people who do fucked up shit in the hidden secret, people who do dark magic, witchcraft, all that shit in the background spiritually, who harm people physically, everything, you can feel it. You know it's true because it feels like you're feeling it, what they have done to other people, right? You're a threat to the system, especially a system that is full of pedos and fucked up shit that enrolled in the justice or trying to bring justice. It's a reverse energy. So the table will be turned, but it will be turned when you guys expose the pattern, the corruption, the vile shit, right? So Spirit's just validating a lot of you what your intuition already knows. These people, motherfucking leeches, parasitic energy, right? Who are violent. They've been showing you all of you they're violent, but they're expecting you to take the abuse. To take it. And they expect you to make money out of it. This entitlement, this is slavery. This is colonizer energy. Same thing with landlords. Like, that's what I was telling you guys. Landlords having this increased amount of rent for like basic need. This is basic, right? It's a form of violence. It is a violence. It is violence against the citizen, the people who live in, who's supposed to be there. You know what I'm saying? It's supposed to be free. So this social, this is what it's. So you have landlords also paying propaganda as well, or they're getting paid as well to, if they're the one creating the energy of like trying to jeopardize, because that's the thing, they're the ones who have control of your housing, right? And if they know that you're political or say something that could affect their finances, that could affect their comfortability, their energy, then yeah, they're going to attack you financially or any possible way, eviction and stuff like that. That's what's going on in the US with ICE, and this is why I tell you guys that we have to build C12. No, we need to cut that shit off here in Canada, Montreal, Quebec, okay? And also, like, we need to have a petition, like, not even a petition, it has to be demolished. The system has to be abolished. Stop caring about the colonizers and the energy. They'll be fine. They'll be fine. They just gotta work. These landlords are fucking lazy as fuck too. They just keep it for real. Some of them are not. I'm not saying. Some of them actually want socialism. They're building in their own way, a lo calladito, the silent way. And they're helping their own tenants and their own people, and you know who you are. But those are rare. Very rare. Very rare. So I'm saying to those landlords who you are on the right side of history and doing the right thing and not charging your tenants like fucking $1,000 for a fucking 1.5 or 2.5, like a small apartment, you're cleaning your karma. You're getting the karma debt, right? You know how to do it. You're doing it. Make sure that you're voicing this out, that you teach other landlords, hey, we shouldn't be doing this shit. This is wrong. There's people living in the street, like they can't afford, like what the hell? Cold like this, dying, homelessness. We should not have homeless. It should not exist. Just like billionaires should not exist. It's the same energy. Because the homeless lack and poverty mindset, it's from them. It's not ours. We're paying the price of their shit that they don't want to fucking do. So this is why we're telling you guys, accountability needs to happen, because it has to be the reverse energy. They should be in the fucking streets suffering what they're making you guys. Do you understand? Or not even. Prison, that's what I'm saying. Like, prison is too merciful. It's too nice. It's too kind for these motherfuckers. These people have raped children, massacre, and they think that, oh no, I didn't do it. But they pay militia, they pay agents, corrupt the system, the FBI, all the shit. It's corrupt, all of it. Pentagon, all of that. You know it. You know it. They know about the Epstein files. What do you mean? They knew about the network. They know about the sex trafficking, human trafficking. It's a network. Billions of dollars. Come on. This is what they're showing you with one of them, which is the Epstein files and the Diddy case. That Diddy, there was another network. All their networks are being like abolished. And that's us who come in here. We should not accept this energy. Politician, there's someone who needs to resign. Father guy keeps saying Carney has to resign. He's in the Epstein files. He keeps saying that. And if he's not in the Epstein's file and the 3 million pages there, it was the next one that is supposed to, there's more. There's more. But Carney is in the generation and the new, he keeps saying Carney has to resign. He knows he has to resign. This is why he's forward for the BC12. Watch Carney's energy with the BC12 and also supporting Harper, like his energy support. Yeah, no, Harper's in the Epstein files too. Get the fuck out of here. They're just a new generation of those files that have been exposed, or the ones that have been redacted or removed. Yeah, they paid lots of money to remove their name or remove anything related to this. Yeah, but it's not working. The truth is still exposed. I'm just confirming to you what you guys already know. Do the digging, research. I'm doing it. I don't give a fuck. We should not have an MP who's a pedophile, fucking sex offender, like supporter or sympathizer. I don't give a fuck. You associated with any of these people, you're a pedo. You're a nasty ass motherfucker. Get the fuck out of here. You should not be in power. You should be in the fucking prison. And prison is too merciful. I'm sorry, it is. Look at those survivors. Those people, what they went through. Surviving, still surviving to this day. What? And these people are in power telling us about justice and laws and how they're changing laws to benefit the society? No, to benefit themselves, to cover themselves. Disgusting. Yaka! This is how you should feel. Fucking nasty as fuck. You should be embarrassed. They should be shamed publicly. That's justice. Talk to Father God or Christ consciousness. Mary Magdalene energy. The divine feminine also fights. You're not stupid. It's not a first rodeo. This is what we're dealing with. Oppressed have to deal every single day. And then they call us violent and angry and, oh, so we shouldn't? We should just let their abuser do what they want and still get no justice. They're still free and doing fuck all and probably doing over and over because there's no consequences. They feel like they can continue doing it. There will be consequences. A lot of you, for a lot of us, this is it. Like, it was it 2 years ago with the genocide. Now it's even like, nah. This is fucked up. Fuck this. Right? Nah. It's time. Let go of this stagnation. Let go. We have to work to do. And they're counting on this. This is why they're distracting you guys a lot. You got everything you need. Others of you, if you have the time to dig and continue exposing, continue, keep going. But a lot of us, we have system and abolishing to do. We have change and laws. We have politicians to kick out. They have to quit. There's no Democrat, none of that. None of the two-party, no. No two-state solution, no. Stand back, bitch. Stand back. No, for them it's like, oh no, sovereignty. No. Learn from the resistance. What do they do to betrayers, to fucking psychopaths who kill their Palestinians? What do they do? Oh, a lot of you are like, oh my God, no. They can be, you can't do, to the most vile, evil people, yes you can. Yes you can. That's how they brainwash you. There it is. And I'm shattering that illusion. That's it. That's what you guys, that's it. That's the one. They are literally programming conditioning that you shouldn't take accountability and justice, especially when Spirit tells you in a community sense, in a unity sense. Because yeah, he will take revenge. Yes, absolutely. Don't think that, but I'm not saying that he will not take revenge through some of y'all. Support resistance. I'm not talking about just the one that does the amplification and online and the protest. No, I'm talking about those who risk everything for freedom, for liberation from these fucking colonizers, motherfucking pedos, oppressors who should be in fucking jail. Billionaires are the psychopath murderers that we need to put in jail. Why are you sympathizing with them? Why are you there? That's the illusion. That's the ritual. Break that cycle. Break the colonization cycle. You gotta break it. I'm telling you, that's the one they're using to cover their shit, to cover their fucking nasty ass shit that they're doing, to continue doing it, to continue being parasitic, to continue taking lives, continue, yeah, they get a high out of this. A lot of you don't get it. Sociopath, psychopath, they get a high of this. Same thing with landlords. The fucking motherfucking landlords who raise the prices and start knowing that their whole community is, yeah, they don't care, right? So why should you care? They don't care that you're dead. They don't care that then why should you care if they get justice? That you get accountability, not just you, but an entire community. What the fuck? What do you think justice is? You're that brainwashed? Get the fuck out of here. No. My people are not like this. You're not dumbasses. You're telling me that if someone comes, steals from you, beats the shit out of you, takes your money, takes the food out of your mouth to make themselves money, you know who you are, right? Do all kinds of weird shit to your energy, to anybody in your family, try to kill your entire family, and does it in your own fucking face, so you can see it too, and they get a high out of that because they feed off fear, confusion, doubts, all of that. The lowest vibration. But then when you starve the narcissist, the sadist psych, like when you starve them, when you take away their toys, when you take away money, when you take away, you block, you sanction the right people, because there's sanctions being put right now to jeopardize those countries, Cuba and Iran, right? Let me know other countries that you know they're being sanctioned and they should not be sanctioned. USA should be sanctioned, right? Israel, right? Okay. Like real, like for real, no more bombing and stuff like that. Companies of weapons should not exist. Palantir should not exist. All the shit. AI could exist, but if it's not taking water resources from people right now, we're in a water drought then globally because of AI. Stop using that shit. You're like, that's the thing. Like, there's people defending AI from using it and saying something. Like the other day I found a spiritual person like reading or channeling, and I didn't know she was saying that. And I was just like, did she just, she said that people who have like are against AI, or like what's wrong with, like there's something wrong with you. Like she's like gaslighting people of what she has no knowledge about, but she's pretending that she has knowledge about that. By the way, be aware that there are spiritual people in this tube and anywhere getting paid. They're Zionists, right? Some of them, they don't need to get paid. They just do it because somehow, somewhere it benefits them, you know? All this of them, they are being paid, okay? They are being paid to create propaganda, to lie, to distort the message, to stuff like that. So this, and that too, they have a huge following, huge subscribers. So it's just like, but she's not educating anybody. She's just lying. She's a proponent. She's spiritual warfare, like, or psychological, mental warfare here. Being portrayed as the good, I mean, you can tell that this person doesn't believe in nothing. Like, I've never heard them mention spirit or Allah or God or anything like that. So this is why I was like, oh, this is not good. This is and a lot of you, if you copycat this energy, you curse yourself. Anyway, she was just ranting about like people with AI, like being against AI, like she doesn't understand, like, and then it's like, dude, but it makes you, it's embarrassing, it's humiliating. You're embarrassing yourself. Do you do the research? Like, this is why I was like, for educated people, like for us, like being educated and being media literate, like right now, that's what a lot of us are, and like educating and stuff like that. And when we talk, especially climate activists and stuff like that, when we hear people saying that, it's just, we're just like, wow. And so many people listen to these people. That's why I'm like, but you're not listening to the right source, the right energy, the real education. You should have people telling you, stop using AI because it's affecting someone's water. You should care about that. That should get you to action, to fucking close ChatGPT, get it out of your phone, don't use it anymore. Like, why isn't that great? No, why is that and against you, against your, like, why would that be? I don't understand. That's fucked up. So we have people like this gaslighting their own communities for knowing the truth that they should do, but because they're not doing it, that means you shouldn't do it either. That means you should be like them. Vile, evil, super apathetic, pretending to be empathetic, to care, but they don't, because her whole channel, her whole YouTube is just, she's receiving channel message, right? Like, and she doesn't show her face. That's another thing. I was like, okay, great, okay. Doesn't show her face, is black only, and then it's only words, and she's just talking out of her ass. And that's why I was just like, wait, what? So you're not telling your people why you shouldn't use AI? You're telling them to continue. Yeah, she's paid. She's paid. That's it. If you want to know who it is, I will tell you if you want, but only personally. I'm not gonna, like, but that will be the example, and I feel like Spirit would like to make this one as an example, but there's plenty of this. This is just one of them, like a bunch, and that's why you need to use your discernment. You need to work on this discernment, okay? Listen to intuition, and I'm talking intuition is that connection between you and source, between you and divine, much higher, multiverse, higher consciousness that we all have access. we're doing the right thing when our heart's in the right place, though. If you're conniving evil, lying to people, stealing from people, pretending that you're something that you're not by trying to get money from your community or anything like that, you're not listening to source. That energy is shattered, because you're not lying to you're lying to yourself, Mio. Like, you're not lying to people, you're lying to yourself. Eventually you will get caught. Like, this energy will be, you know, that's why I love what if you look at my posts, I put Ahmed new video with okay, hopefully I was able to put it here. Residente. Atrévete, te, salte del procede, escápate, tírate del esmalte, deja de taparte. I love him. He's awesome. Especially even more now when you listen to the whole story and you see why. A lot of us, what he was talking about was validating all the shit that we're going through, because he's going through that through the music industry. A lot of us in the writing industry, in the public industry, in the journalist industry, in the finances, in the medical. Like, every aspect is connected. Everything is connected in this system. So that's why a lot of us, when you listen to his story and how he went through, how he value integrity and deny a lot of contracts, and he got kicked out of other contracts. Like, this is what we go through when you are on the right side of history and trying to say no against genocide, against killing children and all that, and using bomb on them. And no, you're not gonna destroy our reality. You're not gonna, yeah. So that's why it feels very empowering and validating listening to other people who have the choice. They have the choice. They have the money. They have the choice to. They have the choice. That's, God gave us free will, right? So they have the choice to, like, yeah, I'm gonna make money out of this. I'm going to choose this contract. I'm gonna, you know. And a lot of you decided not to do that. That's what he did, and that's a lot of. It's very rare. There's a lot of artists and celebrities that very rare decided to do this sooner than later. Now they're starting to do it as a performative thing. That doesn't work anymore, because it shows. It's not honesty. And this is what I was getting at. He was talking about how you have to be honest all the time. And that's something that I value intensely. Truth, clarity, and justice is honesty, accountability, and demanding justice. And taking action, not just talking out of our asses here. So I trigger a lot of people who don't want to feel like doing this, or they think that this type of work or this type of thing, that they cannot do it. They make excuses and stuff like that. So I shatter that illusion, right? So it pisses off a lot of people. That's okay. That's part of the mission. But a lot of us, we need to start doing stuff like this, like boycotting, like really putting the pressure. We have to put pressure. Like I was saying with the MP, the new conversation is this, like I show them, like I talk about the Epstein files, and I said, okay, how is this beneficial for Canadians? Like, why do you have a politician that is in the Epstein files? And they're like, oh, where did you getting that information? Where are you getting your source, right? And I said, it's literally posted. It's in the USA website. There's this link where everything is put together, and you put Carney's name, and it comes up. Some of it redacted, but other ways it comes up. Like, he should not be in, like, anybody who is in a job, government, or authority or something like that should not be in the Epstein files, or related, or ever being connected somehow, somewhere. Or like, no, I didn't go to the parties, but you were associated with these people. You were taking money from them, right? You silence a lot of people. You gaslight a lot of people for them, so they don't get exposed. So your donor who gives you money don't get exposed, so that the money flow doesn't stop coming. That's your excuse? Fuck you. You're disrespectful to the survivors and people who have to go through the worst fucking shit so that you can do what you're doing. Fuck you. And yes, we're not mad enough. That's what a lot of us were like. We're just like, you're not angry enough. We've been angry you're not. Go to your therapy, do what you gotta do, take care of yourself, but you gotta keep going. No numb it. This is the time. Don't numb it. Don't try to, like, this is what they're doing. They're trying to get consent, right? So if you stay silent, if you don't do anything, if you continue your business as usual, if you continue doing this, Just like that happened 2 years ago. So we're trying to tell you the same thing with climate activism, that if you, and that's it, a lot of you need to understand that all of this is also connected to the fossil fuel companies, who should not exist either. This is what indigenous people have been telling you. But you're ignoring it, right? Ignorance is bliss, right? For who? I told you guys, I remember my first article was like, ignorance is not bliss. That was one of my first articles on my website, which I will let you guys know when it's back up, but for now, thank you so much for your like, comments, and share, donations. That's help keep things in the background working. For a lot of you, you're not alone physically, okay? Financially, a lot of us are going through a lot. It's okay. Don't take the temptation money. Don't take the fucking corrupt money. I'm telling you. It's gonna, yeah. A lot of you, you starve yourself. You do everything you can to not be in, yeah, don't worry. It's been shown. It's been confirmed. It's been acknowledged, okay? You're being vindicated. And very soon you're not going to have to go through or live like that. Okay, that's the point. That's what we need to, yeah, there's like, everybody has to make sacrifices. Little, small, big, depends on your situation if you can, okay? Don't go overboard. Don't do all the, like, you know, and also don't go alone. Never go alone to do anything right now, especially against a violent system like this. Okay, don't go alone. And you're not alone. A lot of you feel alone, and you're getting trained, you're going to the gym, you're learning how to fight, you're learning how to use, you know what, swords, any type of shit, right? Learn how to fight. My dad taught us since I'm a kid how to defend ourselves and how to, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so we're telling you from experience. And if you're a parent, raise your kids to learn how to defend themselves, how to fight, especially girls. Especially girls, and especially children now. Children are in danger, right? By predatory sex offenders, motherfucking pedos who are free right now instead of being in prison. And they're calling us crazy that we retaliate, that we are resisting this fucking motherfucking leech psychopaths, right? Law? It's law? What law? Which one? The one that protects them? That doesn't exist. It's void. It doesn't. You shouldn't even be protecting fucking pedophiles, and they should not be empowered. They should not have a job right now. They should not. They should suffer the consequences of what it deals with financial struggling. Right? Yeah. They're scared. Yeah, this is why a lot of all the politicians resign. The one here in Quebec who's a fucking pedo too. He knows he's a pedo. He doesn't need an Epstein file. There is another file here in Canada and Montreal. I'm feeling all the time. But when it's exposed, it will be exposed. I'm just letting you know, giving you confirmation that it exists. And one of them, this politician that recently resigned, Lego, he's there. This is why he's also focusing on the whole language and focus on the language and the French and the racist stuff. He's doing so many racist shit here. Pay attention. This is why they don't want you political. And I hate that fucking word too, because it's like, political is more than that now. Like, you should be political. You should be like focus on laws that put the right people in prison and the innocent out of there and get back into society. They're needed. They're valued. There's a lot of people who stand up to these motherfuckers, this disgusting psychopath, and they're in prison and they're innocent. Meanwhile, you have the people who are murderers, who are psychopaths, who pay a lot of money to keep those people in prison instead of them. Pay attention. The prison pipeline, you need to study that. You need to research that. It happens in different forms in different countries, in the different cities. Learn, educate yourself. Media literacy, history literacy. I'm telling you, they're counting for you guys not to be educated. This is why they have control of the education. This is literally, they had the most spy, psychopath, Maxwell, create all the books that a lot of you were reading and thinking that was real science. And that took me a while to unlearn that shit. I was like, man, I'm a scientist, and most of the books and stuff like that was written by motherfucking psychopath pedo colonizers, billionaires. And that's what I was telling you guys when I told you guys when I graduated 4 years, a long time ago. But all my 4 years environmental science, when I went to the stash and I was doing all these things, they were showing us how to tweak data, how to change the data so it benefits the companies. And I was like, but that's not okay because you're lying. You're tweaking the truth so that we can keep our jobs. So yeah, that's what's happening in university. That's what they were doing. And a lot of you, we have to unlearn that shit. And also, even in university, I had to learn how to keep my integrity. So that's where everything started for me. When I was in class and stuff like that, and they would teach us how to tweak the data. So if the company or employer asks you to, and they make you sign a non-disclosure agreement, which all of that shit happened during my stash afterwards. I did environmental assessment and the water was full of lead and poison, and I was just like, guys, like, this is wrong. And they didn't happen. They're like, yeah, you have to change the numbers. Thank you so much for your work. Here's a non-disclosure agreement. But I was offered the job. I was offered a lot of money to tweak the data so the people in my city don't know that they're being poisoned in their water. That was my radicalization. Not only radicalization, that was like awakening. And also I was pregnant with my second child, and also going through I knew something was off with the relations that I was in, that it was not good, that we were not good. I'm grateful that we bring beautiful children, but we were not compatible. Absolutely not. So that too. So it was a lot. And then healing from that, moving to different, and then the climate change, and that too. It's like, this is something that it bothered a lot of people, that I was involved in multiple. I'm like, why did that bother you? Why didn't you do that? Why aren't you doing that? Why aren't you caring? Why does it bother you that I care, that I want to see it different, that I want to change system, and I changed, everything changed internally already. But it bothers them that I'm the one, be able to have courage and speak up and all this stuff. I'm not the only one. This is not one solo, not only a half spirit who has been there on my loneliest time and nobody supporting me, because I lost a lot of friends, a lot of people during this shit, doing this transition, doing this, amplification or whatever. There was a lot that happened. So that's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of you think that this was an easy road. No, it's not. But we make it look easy now because we have the experience. We have the testimony. We have to go through the stuff. And that's what me and Spirit were like. People don't have to go through really horrendous things too. This is the Christian indoctrination that a lot of us, we need to dismantle, that's what I was saying. I come here, when I look at those files, and as a researcher, this is something that I have to but not only that, I listened to Spirit, okay, I don't know if I can navigate that right now. So he was like, okay, the same thing when I was doing as an eyewitness of genocide and stuff like that. We didn't stop, we continue. It was horrific. We have to process those things and then continue going. We still continue going. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. It's just, we need the courage. We need to we need change. We cannot live like this. They're expecting all of you to live like this. You want to live like this? You want to come back into this lifetime, because that's what it is. Every time we avoid our karmic debt that we have to all pay, everyone. And it's ignorance. It's silence. For some of you, that one's heavy. And it's been a while. A lot of us, we've been paying the karmic debt somehow, somewhere. And we feel guilty when they're like, oh my God, but yeah, we need a system. Abolish all of this so that we all can do it together. We all have to work together, okay? So, free Palestine, free Congo, free Sudan. Make sure that you're looking at my Telegram. There's families in Gaza who need the money. By the way, the opening is not true. I know the other video I said oh, it just opened temporarily. They let 5 people out or stuff like that. These people are psychotic. I can't deal with this motherfucking Israel and USA. It's just, Canada, you need to do better. A lot of us, I will not. I will continue exposing it to my community in Canada. The people like, no, you're not dumbasses. I do not believe that. Hope? I'm always hopeful. All the time. Nobody can take that from me. And a lot of you, you know, like, it's fine. I connect with source and hold on to that. And that's what I'm asking you to do. Hold on to our spirit guide or spirit or integrity or empathy. Hold it like a fucking sword, like a weapon, your truth, okay? Especially when you're dealing with gaslighters and people who are liars and like literally a beautiful disaster. Yeah. 311. Yeah, that's what I say. Like, it's a beautiful disaster. They think it's beautiful. This is a work of art for them. Like, literally trauma bumping, all that shit that they know that they should have worked. This is their work. This is the justice system work that they haven't done yet. Why? Because there's this. Because the people who are the criminals and murder and should be in, they're this. But you take this and they're nothing. We need a system that implements that. We need laws to implement that. They should be scared. Yeah, because they're not untouchable. A lot of us, we need to work on that. We need to set the energy right. Okay? I love you. See you next time.